Okay, today's lesson is factoring by grouping. At the moment, we've dealt with perfect squares that have a difference, that's 2 terms. We've dealt with many different ways of dealing with 3 terms, either the X method, or the guess and check, or the perfect square trinomial. So we've done all those before. Now we want to deal with grouping by more than that. Now, if you notice, these are written in standard form, biggest power to smallest power. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at groups of 2. So I'm going to look at these 2. And Mateo, what's the GCF of those 2?
Has to be y.
Y squared, isn't it? Isn't there a y squared in both of them? So I would take out my y squared. And all I did is I looked at the first 2, I took the GCF. Now, look at those that are left over. What's the GCF between these 2?
4.
4. Now, I'm getting them a little bit closer. Did you look at this parenthesis group? Is it the same?
Mm-hmm.
So now I can factor it out. And if I factor it out, it's gone here, and I have a y squared. It's gone here, and I have a plus 4. This would be my answer. And if I would check this with FOIL, first term, y cubed. Middle terms, 3y squared. Outside terms, 4y. Last term, 12. So when we deal with these, it's basically a series of GCF factoring, and then we look for common factors. Now, for you guys here in class, I will do the notes in a minute. We want to do some other practice problems. All right. Is it in standard form? Yes. So, Anna, look at these 2. What's the GCF out of those 2?
2n squared.
2n squared. Remember, what's the variables? You always use the smallest power. What is left when I factor that out? Anna?
3n plus 4.
Now, look at these 2 that are left over. What's the GCF? 1. Now, we have the GCF is the same, and that's basically what we're looking for. The GCF is the same. So, basically, we cover this piece up. Our first term would be 2n squared. Cover that piece up, 1. Okay? The first 2 examples have been fairly easy because we have a lot of plus signs. Now we're going to deal with a couple that don't have plus signs. Again, they're in standard form because if you pick M, notice the M powers are in order. So let's go with these first 2. What will be the GCF? Will you have a question?
9. 6m to the 3rd.
And then Mateo, what's left over?
It would be 5 and 4.
And
M to the 2nd, and then 4, and that's it.
with an N.
And
Okay. All right. Then look at the 2 that are remaining, and see, notice I made sure I grabbed the signs. So what's the GCF out of these 2? Karen?
7n to the 2nd.
A negative 7 into the 2nd, because both of them are negative, and you want to pull that out. Well, if I divide a negative 35 by a negative 7, I get to 5. The m squared is left over. Here, now, when I take that negative 28 and divide it by a negative 7, I get a positive 4n. Now, if these 2 quantities are not the same, you have 2 choices. Number 1, go back and double check that you didn't make the screw up. If they are not the same and you didn't make a screw up, that would be your answer right here. Otherwise, in this particular case, my GCF between these 2 are the quantities, And the pieces that are left are these little guys out in front. Yes? I think that's my last example. Oh, I lied. All right, so what's the GCF here? First two.
2w to the 6th, or to the 4th, sorry.
What will be left over? Anna.
W to the second minus one.
All right, then if I look at these two, what are you going to factor out? Carol,
6.
go big.
9.
Go big.
18.
18. Am I taking out a plus 18 or a minus 18?
Just plus 18.
Plus.
Take out a minus 18, and then we'll see if we screwed up. We can deal. If you take a negative 18 and divide it by an 18, we'd be positive here, and we'd have w squared. Notice here we have w squared. Positive 18 divided by negative 18 is a negative 1. Now, are our two little quantities the same? That's one of the things you have to, that you make that decision that'll affect the signs that are inside our quantities. So my new GCF and my second quantity. Questions? Let me roll back, because I don't think I have any more. Yeah, all my examples are over. How much time, Allie?
We're at 6 minutes and 45 seconds.
Good enough. All right. Copy the notes down. The lesson is ready to go then. Next week, quiz and test. We're done.